Hello my lovelies and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Angelique and I love books. I'm a big reader and I'm also in the process of writing my first ever debut novel, which is going to be a new adult fantasy. And this channel is all about books that I'm reading and the book that I'm writing. So if that interests you, make sure you follow along and I would be really happy to have you join the family. But as for today's video, it is my favorite video of the month. These are always so exciting. It's already March. How is that possible? My first ever TBR jar video was January of this year, and like, I can't believe this is already my third one. Something about filming a video monthly makes time feel like it's moving faster because you're really holding yourself accountable to just like being present and aware of time. So I'm like, wow, okay, we're already 3 videos in. Usually I feel like I have a little bit more energy in these videos, but for some reason today it's like super dark and gloomy and I feel like I'm tired. Like it's been a really busy month. So I just wanted to put on my like comfy cozy black hoodie and sit and chill with you guys and pick out some exciting reads for the upcoming month. As of the time of filming this, it's still the last week of February. I'm on my 3rd book that I'm reading for the month. I always pick 5 prompts and I try to get to around 3 of them each month with work and with writing. I just feel like that's what's doable for me. And so I'm still reading House in the Cerulean Sea right now, but I did also read The Book of Longings this month and Summer in the City. So stay tuned for my February wrap up where I'll go more in depth on my thoughts on all of those books. But it was a pretty good reading month, so I'm very excited to see how this one goes. Here is my infamous jar. If you watched my video last month, I kept picking the same prompts that I picked in January. I think it was like 3 out of 5 or something was the same exact prompts, and everyone was like, girl, once you pick a prompt, like take it out of the jar so that doesn't happen. So we're gonna see how this goes. I still have all the prompts in this jar from the last couple of months. If I pick out a lot of the same ones, I might have to just put them to the side and have a separate like used TBR prompt jar so that I can keep on like getting exciting ones, and then when this gets low, maybe I'll just like refill it with the used one. I don't know, we're gonna see. I'm still figuring this out, clearly. Here is my TBR cart situation, which is like a little mini bench bookshelf. Let's get into March and see what this month of reads is gonna bring. My freaking sticky notes. Oh gosh. Going for this one. This feels like I've never opened it before. Okay, so my first prompt for March is a sci-fi book, which immediately I have a book in my head. So let's see what all fits a sci-fi prompt. So first off, this is the book that came to mind, Red Rising by Pierce Brown. Is this considered like a space opera? I just know this is like kind of an epic and it's set in space. There's no way this isn't a sci-fi, because I don't think this is considered a fantasy, is it? But these books are so popular right now, and I love Jamie Foxx videos, and she loves this series. It does intimidate me that this is such a big series, so I know if I fall in love with it, I'm gonna have to like keep getting these books. But my husband started this book and he was really liking it. And he's not like a huge reader or anything, so I feel like that says a lot. Darrow is a Red, a member of the lowest caste in the color-coded society of the future. Like his fellow Reds, he works all day, believing that he and his people are making the surface of Mars livable for future generations. That's definitely sci-fi. Yet he spends his life willingly, knowing that his blood and sweat will one day result in a better world for his children. But Darrow and his kind have been betrayed. Soon he discovers that humanity already reached the surface generations ago. Vast cities and sprawling parks spread across the planet. Darrow and Reds like him are nothing more than slaves to a decadent ruling class. Inspired by a longing for justice and driven by the memory of lost love, Darrow sacrifices everything to infiltrate the legendary Institute, a proving ground for the dominant gold caste, where the next generation of humanity's overlords struggle for power. He will be forced to compete for his life and the very future of civilization against the best and most brutal of society's ruling class. There, he will stop at nothing to bring down his enemies, even if it means he has to become one of them to do so. Damn. Yeah. So that is a really good option. Next up, we have The Will of the Many, which I had a birthday in February, so this was a birthday gift from my husband to me. I actually don't know if this is considered fantasy or sci-fi, so I need to look that up. This book is pretty big though, and I've heard it's incredible. This is by James Islington. So let's see what it says in the back. The Catalan Republic, the hierarchy, may rule the world now, but they do not know everything. I tell them my name is Vis Telemus. I tell them I was orphaned after a tragic accident 3 years ago, and that good fortune alone has led to my acceptance into their most prestigious school. I tell them that once I graduate, I will gladly join the rest of civilized society in allowing my strength, my drive, and my focus, what they call will, to be leached away and added to the power of those above me, as millions already do, as all must eventually do. I tell them that I belong, and they believe me. But the truth is that I have been sent to the academy to find answers, to solve a murder, to search for an ancient weapon, to uncover secrets that may tear the Republic apart. And I will never ever cede my will to the empire that executed my family. To survive though, I will still have to rise through the Academy's ranks. I will have to smile and make friends and pretend to be one of them and win. Because if I cannot, then those who want to control me, who know my real name, will no longer have any use for me. And if the hierarchy finds out who I truly am, they will kill me. Wow. It's so interesting on this cover because something about it looks like ancient Greece, but then there's just like a floating building, which gives me sci-fi. So I'm gonna see if this is sci-fi or fantasy, or maybe it's both. This is interesting. So Will of the Many is often described as science fantasy or having sci-fi seasoning due to its rigorous, almost scientific magic system. So these are technically two really good options. I feel like I'm so far behind with this series because I know that there is a second one to this, The Strength of the Few, I think, but this is like so many books already. So I feel like I should start with Red Rising. Yeah, I think I'm ready to get into this world. So for the first prompt for March, I'm going to pick Red Rising by Pierce Brown. Nice. That feels so good to get off of this because it's been so long where I'm like, when am I gonna get into it? And I don't have that many sci-fi books, honestly. I think those would probably be the only two, even on my other bookshelf, that fit that prompt. Okay, great. So moving on to our second prompt. This one looks long. Oh, cool. This is one of those fun ones. Random color generator for the spine. That's fun. Okay, so let's pick a random color generator off of my phone. I'm nervy. What are we gonna get? Oh, the color it chose for me is aqua. Okay, so let's see if I have a book with the spine, the color aqua on this. How many times? I feel like it's been 3 months back to back where these two books have gone head to head. We have Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and we have Beartown by Frederick Bachman. These are very different reads as far as my understanding. So this book didn't really give me that much information on the back. I know there's like a party in this nice house with like surfers and supermodels. And then by morning, the mansion went up in flames and we're set in Malibu. Crazy. So I don't know really if this is like a mystery of some sort. And I've never read a Taylor Jenkins Reid book, and this is giving very summer, but we're going into spring right now. And then we have Beartown by Frederick Bachman, which seems like a much more deep, introspective, thematic read. I feel like this is gonna have a lot of awareness of little dynamics in life that are heartbreaking. That's the vibe I get from this story. And I really wanna read a Frederick Bachman. I've just heard that his writing is so good. I have the third book in this series, and I think I have the second one on my Kindle, so I think it might be time. I think out of these two, they both have aqua on the spine. I'm leaning more toward Beartown by Frederick Bachman. Yeah, I will never forget this. This is the last line on the back of the book. In this story of a small forest town, Frederick Bachman has found the entire world. I remember reading that in one of my last TBR videos, and like my heart just like melted. So we're gonna pick Beartown for aqua on the spine. What's interesting so far about the picks that I have is there are a lot of male authors, which I have admitted before, and it is a goal of mine in 2026 to give more male authors a shot. I feel like I just gravitate toward female authors so naturally, but I want to diversify my reading a little bit more and not have a stigma or preconceived notion that male authors will not speak to me. So I'm gonna get out of that, and I like that already I have 2 picks of my 5 and they're both male authors. Nice, so we're already on to our 3rd pick. So far, so good. I have a feeling I've opened this. Yeah, we're not doing this one. So it's come to that moment. This is getting tossed to the side. It was Matches Your Outfit, and I've gotten that for this is my 3rd month in a row. Or should I just stick with it? Ugh, I need to give my other ones a chance. Yeah, I'm just gonna be fair to my other girlies in here. So we're gonna pick again. Okay. Ooh, a book you've been avoiding. Way to just call me out. Okay, so this is a very interesting prompt because obviously this is my TBR, which means I want to read all of these books. I bought them at one point or another, they called to me. So it sounds like it wouldn't make sense that there's anything I've been avoiding, but if I'm honest with myself, sometimes you think a book is something you're gonna want to get to or something that interests you, and then at least for me, there are so many good books and there's always the new and shiny and exciting one, or the one that you want to read before the movie comes out, or the one you want to read before the next one is released. Things get old and outdated and less exciting, and then I end up subconsciously finding that when I pick a prompt or something that leans toward it, I always have a preference that isn't that book. This has been one of them. The book I just went against, Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. At one point I was so excited to read this, and it isn't that I don't want to, it's just I want to read my other ones so much more that I have been finding every reason to pick other ones other than this. So this would definitely fall under that prompt. Another thing is some books are just intimidating. Some books are huge series or just huge in general. So I feel like I don't have the time that I need to dedicate to that book, especially with writing a book. I get really sucked in when I'm reading and I start to feel torn and pulled between writing or reading. And this gigantic book, I've actually been very blatantly avoiding the last couple of months because I've had a lot of prompts that match this book, but I've just felt like I didn't have the time it took. Like I would only read probably this book, maybe 2 books that month if I chose it. So I've been avoiding this one only for that reason, because for every other reason I'm very excited to read. And obviously this is Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. And then the last one that came to mind with this prompt is this very controversial book, A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. I've just heard this book is like unnecessarily depressing and dark and sad and triggering. I do deal with mental health challenges, and so I think sometimes I'm worried, what is this book gonna do to me? Is it gonna bring up things that I have worked past or like change my perspective in a way that like gets me down? I feel like people either love it or they really feel like it's just too heavy-handed in a way that takes away from the story. I don't know, I've been iffy on when is a good time, if there ever is a good time to read this book, and I think I've been like, it should be summer. Like it's the end of winter, it's super gloomy and dark, and it's like depressing. Look at this man, he's going through torture. Out of these 3 books, I will be honest though, the one I would avoid the most would be Malibu Rising. So this fits the prompt the best, and it's a good size. Like I feel like I could get through this month, so I feel like I should pick this one. And I know I'm gonna like her writing, I just think it's something about the story seems so vague that it doesn't speak to me as much, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna lock in and pick Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid for a book I've been avoiding. All right, on to our 4th pick. Ooh, this one says Goodreads Award winner. That's super cool. There was one I was just holding that said Goodreads Award winner. So let me go through this. Okay, this one isn't. All right, okay. Dang, oh my God. This is so many options. Oh my God, I can't believe. Okay. This is getting ridiculous. You guys, that took a lot of research. Oh my gosh. There may even be more options than this on my TBR cart, but this is what we're working with because these are the ones I'm most excited about. Let's get into it. All of these at one point or another won a Goodreads Choice Award. First, we have Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I've been looking forward to reading this book for a long time. This is probably the oldest book on my TBR card. This one right here. And it's a fantasy. It's set in a world inspired by Africa. So I'm extremely excited to read this one. It's a great option. Zeli Adebola remembers when the soil of Orisha hummed with magic. Burners ignited flames, tiders beckoned waves, and Zeli's Reaper mother summoned forth souls. But everything changed once magic disappeared. Under the orders of a ruthless king, the Magi were targeted and killed, leaving Zeli without a mother and her people without hope. Now, Zeli has one chance to bring back magic and strike against the monarchy with the help of a rogue princess. Zeli must outwit and outrun the crown prince, who is hellbent on eradicating magic for good. Danger lurks in Orisha. Snow lepenaries prowl and vengeful spirits wait in the waters. Yet the greatest threat may be Zeli herself, as she struggles to control her powers and her growing feelings for an enemy. Ooh. Good option. Good option. Reminds me of the book I'm writing. Gonna say that. So that's exciting. Okay, next we have Lessons in Chemistry. This one, oh my gosh, I know what this is about. Someone who was a chemist becomes like a baker? Is that what it is? Yeah, something like that. A cook, a baker. I know this was adapted to a show, I believe it was on Prime. It's like a period piece-ish. It's set, I think, in mid-century. Yeah, this is a good one as well. It doesn't excite me as much as the other one though. Next, we have actually two Kristen Hannas. So The Nightingale and the Women. She writes historical fiction, and oh, that is something that I realized about myself. All of my favorite books are historical fiction. I didn't pick up on that until recently. I'll get more into that in my wrap-up video coming up, but I have realized a pattern. So I'm assuming that I'm gonna love her books. I know that they're very much so tug at the heartstring kind of reads, and you end up crying a lot of the time. This one is based on the women who go to the Vietnam War and come back from it not really recognized as the heroes that they are. And I know this one revolves around two sisters set in France that is occupied by Germany. And I'm excited for both of these. They're very deep reads, I think. Oh, The Nightingale, right, is gonna be a motion picture, and I think it's which sisters? Fanning, Lord, what is those sisters' names? Dakota and Elle Fanning. Those sisters are gonna play it in the movie, and so those are really exciting too. The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I have been wanting to get to this book, and it's just such a cool concept. You go into this library and you get to walk through aisles and pick books that allow you to go back in time in your life and decide if you would make a different decision. It's not that big of a read, but it sounds like it's gonna be very heartwarming, which I like. So this one is a good pick as well. And then lastly, we have Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. The only Rebecca Ross book that I've read so far is A River Enchanted, and I really liked that book. It's a fantasy inspired by Scotland. I really enjoyed it. It had elemental magic, and I kind of did it between the audiobook and Kindle. I really liked her writing, and I know this one is a very popular YA book where there's two writers working at like I don't know if it's a publishing company, Gazette. Anyway, and they're like against each other, but they're falling in love. So that sounds exciting. What excites me the most? If I'm honest with myself, these two are the most exciting options to me. Even though this book is something I would more naturally want to gravitate towards, something about having that Frederick Bachman on there, I think is gonna fill up that space for me. Like, I don't need this and a Frederick Bachman in the same month. So I think the fact that this one's gonna be a little bit more lighthearted and fantasy, and I think maybe not as heavy as Red Rising, I feel like this would diversify my reading month a little bit better. So I think I'm going to fall on Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi for my fourth pick. Okay, on to my fifth and final pick for the month of March. Why? The biggest book on my TBR. This feels dumb. So here are the two biggest books on my TBR. I think visually, we can tell which one's bigger. Priory of the Orange Tree. But let's just take a look at the page numbers, because are they the same height? Yeah, so let's just take a look at the page numbers and see how big of a difference. So Will of the Many is, woo, this is a fatty, 675 pages. So Priory of the Orange Tree, 800 104 pages. Be a good girl, and I'm gonna pick it because my prompt told me to. But this feels like a dumb pick, I'm not even gonna lie, because we know I'm probably not getting to this. It's just gonna sit there next to my bed for the next month, staring at me. Cause like I said, this would be the only book I could read this month. So I have a lot of thinking to do. Do I get through like more books, or do I get through a really, really intimidating book that I probably will keep avoiding? That's a good question. I don't know, this left me with a lot to think about. Damn. Oh, wow. This is crazy. All right, y'all, so here are all of the books that I picked for March. Let's just do a quick recap of them all. So the first pick that I had was Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This one was a sci-fi book, and I'm really excited about getting to this. I've been wanting to read Pierce Brown, and I like watch all his interviews and be in the conversation, but I don't want to spoil anything for myself, so now I can finally think about getting over that. Next up, we had Beartown, which is aqua on the cover, and I'm just ready to get my heart broken and to just feel all the feels. And then we also have Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This was my third pick, and it was the book that I've been avoiding. So it's a pretty quick read. Hopefully I can get to it, but if everything goes well, this will be the month that I read Malibu Rising. Who knows if everything will go well. My fourth pick was Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, and this was for a Goodreads Choice Award winner. So I think the fact that this is a really fun fantasy that's set in such a unique world excites me the most, and it's the oldest book on my TBR. Kid you not. I've had this since I lived in LA at that one apartment in North Hollywood when my bookshelf had like 5 books on it. So yeah. And then my last pick for the month, the 5th book, is Priory of the Orange Tree, which is the biggest book on my TBR, and it leaves me with a lot to think about. I don't know if I just start this book and get it out the way first thing in the month and then see what I have left. Maybe I read this and one more, or if I avoid this one and get to more of those. It's a toss-up. Stay tuned to see what I do. But that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching and spending time with me. This is like such an exciting video that I film every month. So subscribe if you want to be a part of the family. Comment below what is on your TBR for March. I really want to know what you guys are reading. And if you've read any of these books, tell me your thoughts. What should I prioritize? What's your favorite of these if you've read any? And like I said, make sure you stay tuned for my wrap up of what I read in February. That will be coming next. But thank you so much for all of your support, and I will see you guys in the next video.